Welcome to Ganithika.com. This is a website for mathematics lovers, learners, and leaders. In this video, I'm going to talk about some examination tips. This is specifically for IBDP Maths students who have taken either AAHL, AASL, or AIHL, or AISL, all the levels, paper 1 or paper 2 or paper 3. So whichever paper you are going to appear for, this video is going to give you some tips on how to approach any examination paper and how to answer the questions efficiently. I'm not going to give you any solution in this video. I'm going to give you just some tips and techniques to follow during the examination. In this video, I will be using the old paper November 2012 from Mathematics HL paper 1. This is from the old syllabus, so it may not be applicable for this new syllabus, but since I'm going to only talk about the techniques used in answering a question paper, I'm just taking this as an example. So I'm using Mathematics Higher Level paper 1, and this paper is for 120 marks, and this is not the case now. You might have different maximum marks in your examinations, but it is not going to matter in this video. I'm going to give you some tips on how to approach each and every part of any question paper. You can just watch this video and you can apply to your type of examination paper, whatever level it is. As I said, I'm just using this as an example case to explain certain skills and techniques. And in this video, I will be talking about the reading time which is given for you during the first 5 minutes of your examinations. Most of the students do not consider this as an important aspect of the examinations, but this is the very important part of the examination. Reading time, 5 minutes of reading time is extremely important. If you use this reading time efficiently, your scores are going to be really high. And in this video, I will explain how to use this 5 minutes of reading time efficiently. And I'm also going to introduce some important techniques in approaching each type of question in this paper so that you can apply the same techniques for your papers. Using these techniques will definitely improve your scores in these papers. Let's go into the paper now. In this video, we are going to see different techniques in solving paper in your exams. Now I'm going to take November 2012 and paper 1. And you know that you have to read the instructions carefully, and this paper is a non-calculator paper, and answer all questions in the boxes provided. I'll be explaining that soon. Answer all questions on the answer sheets provided for section B. For section A, it should be done inside the boxes provided there. And do not forget to indicate the number of sheets used. That's very important because that helps to not miss any of your answer sheets. Please number your sheets and then write the number of sheets in the front page clearly. This is very helpful, and you know the reason behind it. It's very important because in case if any of the papers were missing, then they can easily identify if it is really missing or not. Okay, the other thing is all numerical answers should be given exactly and correct to 3 significant figures. Be careful about it. Unless and otherwise it's mentioned there that you have to give it in any other way. Okay, and at this point I want to tell you that please be thorough with the information booklet. That is, you have a copy of that already. Get thorough with the information booklet and what you have in them, because you don't want to waste your time in searching for the appropriate formula when you are solving the paper in the exam. So be clear what are the formulas that you have in the information booklet and where they are. You don't have to search when you are sitting in your exam hall. And then the maximum mark is 120 and the time given is also 120. So therefore it's 1 mark per minute. So if you have a question for 5 marks, then the maximum time you can take is 5 minutes. So be careful about it, so that the marks against every question is very important. If you have 4 marks, then maximum time you can use for that is 4, but you should not be using the 4 minutes for that. You should be using less so that you can spend more time on difficult questions or in review. Okay, now coming to this, one more thing is before starting your papers, you will be given a 5-minute reading time. So what is this exactly? What do you do in this reading time? You are not supposed to use a pen or pencil during this time. You can just go through the questions. You can read through the questions. It's really important, and you need to be really brisk during these 5 minutes. So what exactly? Let's see what we can do in this 5 minutes now. Okay. Say I have a starter clock here, and I have the paper here. Let's see how you have to scan through the paper during this 5 minutes, and you should not waste even a single second during this time. Now let me start the clock and see what we can do during this 5 minutes. Okay. Now you are going to look into your first question. Usually the first few questions are really simple, but you need to know which subject chapter it is. Okay, that we'll discuss later. Okay, now you see that, okay, the given cos alpha is given and sine 2 alpha is asked, and you know the formula for 2 sine or sine 2 alpha is 2 sine alpha cos alpha. I think I can do this. This is going to be easy for me. And then going to the next question, okay, you look at it and you see, okay, this is an expansion. You use binomial expansion. Whether you know it or not, you know at this point. Okay, I can do this question. Next is a graphical question. So if you know the graph, you have a, b, c here, and the question is, using the information, find the values of a, b, c. I think I can do this. This is a graph question and you have some points on the graph. I think it should be quite easy. This is what you're supposed to be thinking there. And this question is looks like a bit difficult. You need to make some transformation. I think this is under transformation. So I think if I start drawing the function, it should be easy. So it's not going to be difficult here. Y-intercept finding a graph in a graph is going to be easy, so it's okay. And I'm just telling you what you are supposed to be thinking. Now you are given a graph y equal to x ln x whole square. So it's doesn't look, again there is a graph question, but here it is local maximum minimum is what is given here. So I think we have to use calculus, maximum and minimum concepts. So if you have done this, you should see that, okay, this is going to be easy for me. Point of inflection, again this is differential calculus. Okay, fine, I can do this. Oh, now it is probability density function. I'm not very sure if I had done this chapter very well. Maybe it might be difficult. Let me see. Okay, this is a continuous probability function. Okay, and here it is a matrix. It looks like it's a matrix question. Equation of a plane. It says there is an equation of a plane. So it is a vector and matrices combined. If I have done this very well, so I can easily do this question. Coming to the seventh question, it looks bit complicated. I think I need more time for this. Question number 7. Okay, right. And then this one is implicit function. I know that very well. So again, this is part B of implicit function, so I think I can do it. Now comes vectors. So I'm not very good in vectors, so I need more time for this. So question 7 and question 9, I think I need more time. So all the other questions were simple until this point, and now it is for section B. What are the chapters that are in questions in section B? The first question, okay, this is under complex number. Okay, fine, I have done complex number very well. I think I can make it up, at least the first few questions. Fine. The second question in section B is on matrices. I'm very good in matrices, so I think I can do this. Wow, easy. And then the third question, again it's function. No, it looks very complicated. No, I think I need a lot of time for this. So it's 23 marks, and I think I need at least 25 minutes for this. So what should I do? I should complete up to question 11 half an hour before time. So the paper is for 2 hours. Then I should be completing up to question 11 in 1.5 hours. Okay, fine, that is what I'm supposed to do. And question 11 seems to be easy for me, and maybe question 7 and 9 was difficult, so I need to give more time for that. And you can see now this is what you are supposed to be thinking, right? So if you were thinking like this, you can see that you are still left out with 1 minute. So you can still go around whichever question you have browsed through very fast, you can go back to it, and then you can just think, okay, this is something that looks easier now. Okay, fine. And then you will soon you will be having a call from your teacher or examiner saying that you need to close, the 5 minutes time is over and you need to start working. So that is how you are supposed to use this 5 minutes reading time, please use this completely. You go scan through the whole question paper completely, so that you know where you stand, which are the questions that you are thorough and which are the questions you need more time, so that you'll know how to manage the time there. Okay. Now I'm going to go through each question. I am just going to explain the technique involved in answering this particular paper. Before I proceed, the first few questions could be from any chapter. So I insist, do not leave any topic untouched. That means you please learn every topic without fail. Every topic, I underline, every topic, at least to some extent, at least the first few concepts of every topic, you please learn them, because in the first few questions you will have very simple questions from any topic. So that means you are not supposed to leave any topic unread. So please make this very important. You don't leave a chapter without learning. Okay. So in this case, you have the first question is from trigonometry, and another important thing is read word by word. Given that, okay, this is the condition, or you can even box it or underline whatever. You can make a note on that each condition. So every word in the question has some significance. Do not overlook any conditions given in the question. So read the question word by word, and as I said, you can underline or you can highlight any of the important conditions given in the question. So this is one of the condition. Alpha is between pi over 2 and pi. Very important. Keep it in mind. And you are given cos alpha. Negative is there. So that is another information given in the question. Very important information. And then now what you are supposed to do, sine 2 alpha. So you start writing what is sine 2 alpha, and then you will know what you need to know. I'm not going to give answers in this video. I'm just going to brush through the techniques you are supposed to use. So you can use sine 2 alpha, sine 2 sine alpha, cos alpha is the only way out to find sine 2 alpha from cos alpha. Now you have to think about what is, it's pi over 2 to pi. Maybe you can draw a axis, and this is where the alpha is, and then you can start thinking how to work on it. So this is, each and every word is important, and you need to, another point here is, you need to be thorough with every chapter at least to some extent in order to answer the first few questions. Okay. And this is a direct question for this one, binomial expansion, and it's not going to be very difficult. You have to just look into the information booklet, and if you are thorough with the information booklet where the formulas are placed, then it's easy for you to find the actual formula for binomial expansion, because you know that this question is going to be under binomial expansion. So you need to just directly go into the information booklet, get out the formula from there, plug it in, and just simplify. And remember, it's 4-mark question, so you might have some real good steps to be involved there. Okay, writing the binomial expansion is not going to give you any marks. Okay, writing, like if you are writing x plus a to the power of n, and you just copy it from the information booklet, and this is not going to be marked. But the information that you are going to use binomial expansion to solve the problem is very important. That is method mark. Okay. Next question is, you just don't go into the question yet, just read what the information is given. What is it given here? F of x, x cube, ax square, bx and c. Okay, fine. I have a, b, c. I can be very sure that you are going to be asked what to find a, b and c. Okay, this is the function. So what is given in the function? We are given some points, x intercepts and y intercept. So it's clear this is 2, so therefore c is going to be 2. So even before you start reading the question here, you can just see what is given and what you can actually get from the information given. You are given intercepts. So you are given both x-intercept and y-intercept. So it's not going to be a very complicated question. So it's just a third question. It's going to be very simple as long if you know the basics of graph of functions. Okay. And now you are supposed to find a, b and c. You have already found c. C is very easy. You know, if you know that c is the y-intercept, it's very easy. And finding a and b is going to be very simple if you just change the question and write it like this with the c that you have found. So once you know that you are now left out with A and B, you can use, you know that you are supposed to use it. These are the other informations which are present in the question. Therefore, you need to use these x-intercepts in order to find A and B. So that's another technique that you need to be thinking about here. Next, another important thing is you have 7 marks for this question, and then you have only 4 marks here. So 4 marks, and you need to find 3 uh, answers. So naturally, you'll have final answer marks for 3. So the only mark left out is 1 for method. So you need to show the method how you are finding A and B especially. So C, finding C is direct, so it doesn't make any difference. It's just a mark A1 for C, but A and B needs some method marks there. Okay. Now another thing is you have done only with 4 marks and you are still left out with 3 more, and there is an A part of the question, therefore there is a B part. Please do not miss this, miss to see the B parts of every question. It's in every paper, it's very clearly written this question continues in the following page, and also this question 3 continued. So these things are really important, and you need to keep an eye on the marks as well as the subdivision of each question always. Here it is transformation. You know that it is a transformation. So once you know that it is going to be on transformation, you know what is x minus 2. So immediately you think x minus 2 is shifting towards the right. Fine. And then shifting towards the right, go back to the function, shift towards the right 2 units. So each point would have shifted 2 units. So this would have gone to 1, this would have gone to 3, and this would have gone to 4. So 1, 3, 4 is how it is going to look like. Again, I have not even read the actual question, but I just after by looking at it, I'm thinking what the question is all about. Okay. So just by looking at 3 f of x minus 2, I know that it's going to be horizontal translation, plus this 3 is going to be vertical stretch. So this is what we get from the information. Just looking at the information, try to get all that you can get from that. So this you have done that 1, 3 and 4 are going to be shifted to this. The x intercepts are going to be shifted to 1, 3 and 4 instead of what it was before. And the vertical transform, let's see what's going to be with vertical stretch here. Now in this question, the first question, again there is subdivision first, so there should be another question at least. So here state the coordinates of points where the graph intercepts the x-axis. So we are going to find x-intercept, which you have already done even before looking at the question, and then y-intercept of this, and you just cannot use the stretch is not done directly because it's both horizontal translation and the stretch. So you cannot just say 2 plus 3 is 5 here. You cannot do that because the graph would have shifted to something like this, and then your final answer would be anywhere it could be. Okay, so it is not 3 here, please do not make that mistake, 2 plus 3, but it is y-intercept. You know what y-intercept is when x is equal to 0, therefore it is g of 0, which is 3 times f of minus 2. So you know what f is if you have done this correctly. If you are if your answer for this question was wrong, you can get follow through points for this. Okay, if just by substituting the value -2 to whatever answer you have got in this part. The next question is 8 marks. Okay, before this, whatever you have been doing here should be less than the number of marks given. If it is a 4-mark question, you try to finish this off within 2 minutes. Don't take 4 minutes for the first few questions, and this one should be less than 2 minutes, of course. So you are saving this time for hard problems. Okay, and again this one should not take more than 4 minutes. So this is how you have to keep your time ready for your hard questions. So in this case it's 8 marks, and if you are good at the at calculus, finding the maximum minimum points, then you should think, okay, this is a very easy part of my knowledge, I can easily do this type of question, so I should not take more than 3 to 4 minutes for this. So keep that in mind and start working on this. So you know that you can work on this in any way. There are so many, you know the marking scheme already, so that is not the idea of this video, but what I'm insisting here is how you have to manage the time as well as how you have to think when you look at a question. So again, the diagram shows the graph of the function defined by y equal to this much. You have ln function here, so keep that in mind. Okay, I have an ln function, and then you have a condition x greater than 0. That is why it's the function is defined for only positive x. So if you get an answer x is equal to 0, you should omit it. So that's very important. So that is an important condition. I told you you have to read every question word by word. The function has local maximum and local minimum. So we are only having a small part of the function. So you are supposed to find the points A and B here, which is maximum and minimum. You can use calculus for this. You have to use calculus. And then here it is point of inflection. You know how to find it is double integration is equal to 0. And again, in this case, you be careful for about this condition x is equal to 0. Okay. And then coming to question 5. Okay, I said you are going to save more than 5 or 6 minutes on this. Okay. Now you have planned to, when you were looking through during the first 5 minutes, you thought that this is going to be really difficult, if you had thought so. So in that case, you may not know what to do. Right, you are going to lose 8 marks if you don't know if you don't know anything about this. But if you know, then you should not spend more than 3 minutes for this question. But if you do not know and you don't know what to do with mode of x, and you don't know anything about how to determine the value of a, and you have not done this, then you can spend maximum 1 minute on this to think what you can do, maximum. But if you are very sure you are not going to do this, then just skip and go further. Okay, but if you know something about this and if you want to think, then it's maximum 1 minute. Okay, now this is the question, the continuous random variable. So the moment you see continuous, you're going to use integration, right? It's not probability density, discrete probability, where you can use sigma, but here it is continuous, so immediately your mind should think of integration. And then what we usually do is f of x is equal to integral a e power minus x. Okay, fine, we always avoid reading this. We never think about this. Okay, it's 0, whatever, fine, that's what we do. But that is what it is important for this question, because the mode of x is nothing but the value of the function which occurs the maximum number of times. So if you have the number line, it's just 0 to 1, which is a e power minus x. In all other cases, which is really huge number of x values, it's going to be 0. So for major x value, almost infinite number of x values, the value of f of x is equal to 0. So as you would have noticed, we have completely, if you have completely avoided looking at this part of the function, or at this part of the definition, then you will not be able to answer this question. So the point I'm insisting here is each and every word in the question is important. Read it word by word, clearly and calmly. Okay, so the mode of x here is just 0 because it's 0 in the major part of the domain. And determine the value of a, yeah, it is f of x is a e power minus x, and you know that you are going to do integration, so integration f of x dx on the interval 0 to 1. Now you don't have to worry about this part, is equal to 1, and this is the condition you are going to use in this particular case because it's continuous. If it was discrete, then you would have used sigma pi is equal to 1. Okay, you know this, you should know this. This is, again, as I said, very basic concepts in probability density function, very important, very basic. That is, the total probability is equal to 1, and mode is something you have done long back in grade 7 or something. So you, as you can know, if you have noticed it properly, you know that these questions are really simple ones, nothing to do with the major HL syllabus, as it is, as if you want to talk it like that. Now e of x, you know the definition, and it is there in your information booklet. So this is x f of x dx within the limits. Fine. So that is a direct and very simple question. And then here is something very important. In a triangle PQ, it looks really complicated. It is. And very important thing is first draw the triangle PQR and put in the informations first. So if this is going to be 30 degrees, so this is 30 and PR is K. So this is K here and this is 6 here. Very, very important. Be careful in putting the information into the picture there. Very important. If you change the P's and Q's and R's, everything is going to be wrong here. So this is the information given and this is what you have transformed this into. Very important again. And as I told you, don't even go for looking into the question. Just transform the given information as much as you can. Get all the sub informations from the information given and then you can continue with the question. Now for the case K equal to 4, find the two possible values of QR. So this is what your question is about. Looking at it, once you fill in this particular diagram, you know what is given and what is asked. Without that you will be lost. You don't know what is actually given and what is asked. Only with the diagram you can identify. Now you know three sides and one angle. Start with cosine. But you have to be very careful again with cosine. Cosine should start with a square equals b square plus c square, and this is the angle you are using should be opposite to the side you have taken here. Therefore the angle here is 30 degrees here, and therefore you have to start with k square equal to, don't start with this x. If you put this as x square equal to, it doesn't mean that every time it starts with x square. Okay, it depends on the diagram that you have drawn. K square equal to, and you can do whatever you want here, and this would be, the angle would be cos 30 degrees with all those formula here filled in. Okay, we have to be very careful because the diagram is important and the information that is put into the diagram is very important here. Okay, more than the answer, because if the diagram is wrong, everything is wrong, you lose the whole 4 marks. Next is determine the value of k for which the conditions above define a unique triangle. So you have the, well, how do you usually draw the information here? You draw a line and you draw 30 degrees here, and then you draw 6 centimeters. That's how you do. And from this 6 centimeters you need to draw a line, a curve, so that it either touches it or it cuts it at least once, only once, exactly once. So you can have this point P either in one of these places. So you can see that if it touches, then the line is perpendicular. In other cases you can have all these lines possible, which means that k could be greater than or equal to 6. In other case, the second case is when k makes a right angle triangle, so that you can easily solve for k at this position. Okay, you can check the mark scheme later for this. Now question number 8 was easy when you were looking through that during your first 5 minutes of reading time, and if you are thorough with implicit function, you can see that this is implicit functions. Immediately the moment you see that, it's going to be an implicit derivative, and the question is find the gradient of the tangent at pi, and this is 6 marks just for this question. So you need to really give all the steps. At least there should be 7 to 8 steps and a clear answer for the gradient. Okay, now question B, hence show that tan theta is 1 over 2 whatever. You don't have to worry about what is asked at this moment, where what is theta is an acute angle between the tangent to the curve and the line. So there are two lines and you need the angle between them, which means it is just difference between the angles. So theta is difference between these two angles. The angle of pi y equal to x is pi over 4, and the tangent to the curve at pi is what you just found from this. If you made a mistake in this, you might still get follow through marks here, minus whatever you got in the previous part. And then this is what your theta is, and then you need to find the tan theta of this. Okay, please check the marking scheme for this. Now the part 9, as you decided it was a bit difficult, again this is a 6 mark question. If you don't know, if you have to think for this, if you are not very thorough with this chapter, then you might give maximum of 1 minute to see if you can proceed with this question. Within 1 minute, if you are not able to get any idea, please go to the next one. Okay, now this is again two vectors. Always it's easier, either you put it in or like lambda something, or x is x plus ax plus by equal to c form. So it's easier to do it in this way. Anyway, you can again check with the marking scheme, but you have to be thorough. Once you read the questions, A and B move so that at time t hours, their position vectors in kilometers, t is in hours. All these things are very important. Okay. And then there is a part B, do not collide. Do not collide is a very special case of vectors. Do not collide is when t1 is not equal to t2. And if you don't know this, then just don't look at the marking scheme and say, oh, okay, t1 not equal to t2. No, you go back to the chapter, go read them completely, do some problems from the exercise, and then come back to this question. Okay, please don't look at the marking scheme and say, okay, fine, this is it. No, do not collide means t1 equal to t2, not equal to t2. That is not enough, because various problems with various methods are still there where you have to show that t1 not equal to t2, but that needs a lot of practice. So you have to, it means that you have not practiced enough if you can't do this question. Very direct question. Coming to section B, in each question of section B, the first few questions would be easier, whereas the last question would be as difficult as doing an investigation problem. Okay, that's how the questions for section B is made. And before that, all your questions should be, all your answers should be done within this box, the box given here. It should not go beyond this box. If you are striking a part of the question, please do not, if you strike this part of the question, please do not write here. Write after what you have struck. And because the examiners are not supposed to see the place where you have done this striking here. Okay. And if you need more space, write here clearly that this question is done in the extra sheet. Write it there. And for section B, all questions should be done only on extra papers provided. You are not supposed to do anything here, because the examiners are not supposed to see these pages. And then, as I said, A, B, C, the beginnings are quite easy, while the last question would be bit difficult than the first few. And we have already decided that this question is going to take a long time. So you see, look at your clock. If you have done this up to this in less than 1.5 hours, then you are in a safe position. If not, then you have to hurry up and start looking at the simple part of this. At least you start doing the composition functions, fine, and then go. Surely you may not have enough time for this question if you are not completing the remaining part of the paper within 1.5 hours. Less than, it should be less than 1 hour 15 minutes actually. Only then you can give enough time for this particular question. Okay, all the best. I hope you enjoyed watching this video, and I hope this is going to be very helpful for your next examination. Good luck.